Can somebody please explain to me what fresh hell is this?
You all hands, toys the colors high. Evil deeds and beggars, never shall we die. No song inside the night, another sail sea. With the keys to the cage and the devil tempted, we're laid to free their trade. You
Nah, I'm tapping out. 2024 can... No. Y'all can try to tell me that is a puppet all you want, but no. No. I said no. That, my friends, is 1000% a Nephilim in disguise as a puppet. I'm going to show you another video of this same puppet, this massive, giant puppet that they're putting in the water, in the ocean for whatever reason. Whatever reason they want to tell you they're putting it in there. I know what reason they're putting it in there for sure. But I want you to pay attention to the eyes of this puppet as he's being put into the water. Not only does he appear to look very aware of his surroundings, but he also looks very concerned. I don't know if you know this, but I know this. Most people should know this at this point. Giants do not like water. Genesis flood much, but the part that gets me the most, not only about him looking around as they're submerging him, but as he closes his eyes just before he goes under. Check it out.
You all hands, toys the colors high.
No, on every single level, I say no. Y'all, if anything has been taught to us in the past couple of years as the world has begun to have woken up, they're awake. We see. We know the truth by now. We are not asleep. And before I go any further on that note, can I just say how incredibly proud Auntie is of this world? Just the past couple of years alone, how everybody has woken up. Why can't I get that word right? We are awake. Our eyes are wide open. We have eyes to see and ears to hear, finally. And this world is fully aware of all of the lies we have been fed, well, since we were able to eat lies as children. That right there is a whole ass Nephilim, the biblical giant. That is not a puppet. Do not believe it for a second. Don't. Which brings me to the other point of this video. There is a scripture in the Bible about the end of days that I believe has not been misinterpreted, but has had a very large point in the scripture overlooked and missed, as it explains that in the end days, when Jesus Christ is to come back, it shall be just as the days of Noah. Now, everybody's just assuming because during the Genesis flood, during the days of Noah, people were sinning. The world was full of evil and corruption. It says that people will be eating and drinking and marrying, but that is not why God flooded this earth. And my dear friends, there was something much more massive, something so much larger, huge, gargantuan, nay, something giant was occurring during the days of Noah, the Nephilim. And although we had been taught since we were very little that God flooded the earth because of the sinful man, just the past couple of years alone, we have all learned the true reason behind the Genesis flood: to rid the world of the Nephilim, the unholy offspring that was created between the fallen angels, the Watchers, and mortal women. The Nephilim, the giants, that according to the book of Enoch stood 450 feet tall, were cannibalistic. Not only cannibalistic, but also started to devour almost all of man's sustainable natural resources. And when they got bored with that, yeah, they turned all right. They began to devour man. And when even that got boring for the old Nephilim, they turned on one another, devouring the flesh and drinking the blood. And God knew he had no other choice. He had to flood the world. Hence the Genesis flood. God flooded the world to rid the world of the Nephilim because they were going to be the reason for mankind's ultimate demise, but for another reason as well, to rid the world of the DNA of the Nephilim, the tainted bloodline. You see, Satan was working overtime to alter, to taint, to ruin the DNA of man. Well, why would he do that, Auntie? Very, very, very good question. The devil knew that if the entire bloodline of mankind was riddled with Nephilim DNA, unholy DNA, the coming Messiah, Jesus Christ, would not and could not be born. Not only did the devil know this, but of course God knew this too. And so he flooded the world to rid the world of the Nephilim DNA, to cleanse the bloodline of man, to pave the way for the coming Messiah. But even the Bible explains itself that there were giants in those days and also after, meaning the Nephilim, some of them, did survive the flood. Now we have seen video after video after video, the past couple of years just on TikTok alone, of actual giants roaming mountains in Canada, in Mexico. And just recently, a door closing in an Oregon mountainside, a door to a giant's home in the mountain. And not only do giants still live hidden amongst us, there is also a very large role that that was a pun too. There is a very large role that these giants will play in the end of days. What if I were to tell you our government not only knows that giants exist, but they actually house giants. They have giants as well. Hidden away, top secret. One man's account of going to one of these areas, much like Area 51, explained how he was forced to sign a waiver. And a part of that waiver was he was not allowed, not even if he stubbed his toe, to ever utter or say the words, Jesus Christ. You see, Nephilim, oh yeah, they don't like that word. In fact, the government highly depends on these Nephilim in the end of days, as does the devil and his demonic army as well, hoping that these giants will be enough in their army to help win the battle against God and Jesus and the army of angels and saints in the battle of Armageddon. So when the Bible explains that in the days of the coming of man, it shall be just as the days of Noah, they're not talking just about eating and drinking and marrying and people being sinful, lustful, and corrupt. Because let's be honest, since the beginning of man, that could have been any day. What that Bible verse is telling us is there will be Nephilim involved here on this earth, just as in the days of Noah. So you might tell me that's a puppet going into the water, but I know better. How else do you hide something so massive in plain sight than the one and only true way they have ever hidden anything from us from the beginning of time? Lies. They're setting up their Nephilim army in the waters and scattered about the land. They know that this day is coming, and very soon. And that puppet that was being put into the water, just as in the days of Noah, my friend, was not a puppet at all. That was a Nephilim. Yeah.